Somebody sent me a message asking me a question several days ago, and I know how to answer this question, but at the time, I was kind of unsure on how to answer it plainly because there's a lot to it. So I've done my best to simplify it. I've got some notes. I'll edit all the looking at my notes and stuff out, right? But their question was the difference in the Old Testament and the New Testament. And I know to some people you're going to go, well, duh. But you have to understand that not everybody's on the same walk that you are. And this is very important for a lot of people. So I'm going to explain it in what I would say plain language that I understand and that hopefully helps you understand and progresses your walk with Jesus and gives you a little bit more comfort. So here it is. The Old Testament is before Jesus and the New Testament is after Jesus, and sometimes that's the only answer that people get. But that is not the real difference. The real difference is how people relate to God, and I'm going to do my best to explain this, so stick with me. In the Old Testament, God is building people, and He's showing humanity what holiness looks like, and it's heavy. There are laws, there's rules, there's sacrifices, there's priests, there's consequences. And that's not because God was cruel, it's because sin is serious. The Old Testament shows us something very uncomfortable, and that's no matter how hard people tried, they couldn't stay right with God. People simply failed again and again and again. So God gave them the law, and the law did something important. The law didn't make people perfect, but it showed them that they weren't. When somebody sinned back then, they didn't just say sorry. An animal had to die or blood had to be shed. A priest had to be in the middle. Sin was covered, but only temporarily. So the Old Testament wasn't the cure, it was the diagnosis. And then along comes the New Testament, and everything changes. Instead of God sending more rules or more laws, God sends Himself, and Jesus enters the picture. Jesus becomes the sacrifice, right? The animals and all that. Jesus replaces that, the endless rituals. All of a sudden, there's no more trying to earn forgiveness. Jesus pays that debt once. The Old Testament says, be holy, and then shows you how impossible that is. The New Testament shows that if you can't reach God, God's going to reach you. And this is where a lot of people get stuck because they believe in Jesus, but they feel like they're under the law. People will carry guilt that they were never meant to carry, or they constantly feel like they're not enough, or they think that God's going to be disappointed if they mess up. And that is the Old Testament weight applied to a New Testament life, if that makes sense. Jesus did not erase the Old Testament, He fulfilled it, meaning that debt is paid. Now, grace is not earned, it's received. So when you read the Bible, try to remember this. The Old Testament shows you why you need a Savior, and the New Testament shows you who that Savior is. And His name is Jesus. And now you don't have to clean yourself up to come to Him. You go to Him, and He does the cleaning. So if you're still living like you're trying to earn God's love, it's already been given. I love you guys.